I'll just take the opportunity at the very start to alert the Chamber that it is World Down Syndrome Day on the 21st of March, this Sunday, so unfortunately we won't be in the position to light up the building on the day or have a debate for those people who have Down syndrome, but I'm sure you'll join with me to wish all those people who have Down syndrome to have a very special day on Sunday the 21st of March. Mr Speaker, I'm pleased to add my voice to those speaking strongly in support of the bill brought before us today by Mr Paul Given from Lagan Valley. And for the record, I'm speaking on behalf of myself because abortion is a matter of conscience for the Ulster Unionist Party. I would like to echo the words of many of those who have spoken before me, but not all. And I want to pass on my gratitude and acknowledgement of the incredible work of Heidi Crowther, who will celebrate on the 21st of March, a very special day. For Heidi to have the courage to advocate for the rights of those who, like her, have Down syndrome, but live in another part of the United Kingdom, speaks of a great commitment and a determination which we should both honour and affirm. And the reality is that unless this bill passes, it is possible that at some time and some point in the future we will be left in a very sad situation where there are no longer people like Heidi left in our society, and that, in my opinion, would be an absolute tragedy. It's clear to me that the issues that this bill deals with, and that's what a lot of the debate has missed, that this is about one aspect of the legislation, is about disability discrimination. And as the chairperson of the All-Party Group on Disability, I believe it is of fundamental importance for myself and for this Assembly to take a stand against disability discrimination. And it's our responsibility to promote equality and ensure those people and babies with disabilities have their whole person recognised, their capabilities and their dignity respected. If left unamended, the abortion regulations which were forced on us by Westminster last year will have devastating consequences. I've heard the word devastating used a number of times now in the Chamber, but not in relation to the devastating impact it has on the unborn child. So leaving our society bereft of diversity and the unique qualities that those with disabilities contribute. But, and of crucial importance, this is something within our power here in this Assembly to change. So in 2021, we should not permit laws like Regulation 7(1)(b) to exist. We should remove them and support people like Heidi and their families. And that is a point that most members are making. There is much work we need to do to support those with disabilities and families who are supporting them and allow them to enjoy their life to the fullest. We should be creating a society that delights in them. That's the kind of society that I want to be part of. The statistics from England and Wales, which we have debated today, are shocking, and they provide a worrying indication as to how things are likely to develop here in Northern Ireland if we do not amend the law. Some people have talked about a 0.9% indication of an outcome. When you look at there's upwards of 250 to 300,000 abortions of a year, even 1% or 0.9% is an incredible number, but it's not just a number, it's a life. According to the National Abortion Statistics for England and Wales in 2018, there were 618 abortions on grounds of Down syndrome. And that figure, which is likely to be an underestimate, Mr Speaker, is far greater than the numbers of babies for Down syndrome who were allowed to be born in 2018. So it's clear to see that when you look at the choice that's made, and it is a difficult choice, it absolutely is, that we need to do more to support the mothers in that instance. Mr Speaker, the direction of travel is clear. We also need to be very careful about the outdated stigma and stereotypes that a law like this could perpetuate. This is summed up best by Sarah McNeil, a mother to Tommy, a wonderful boy with Down syndrome from Ballymena. Some of you will have seen him lately. And she says, "I would urge any parent faced with the decision of what to do, not to be blinded by poor outdated preconceptions of what Down syndrome is. I thought our outlook seemed bleak when our doctor first shared her suspicions about our brand new baby. But now I know better." And if you've seen the videos and the singing, it would just be marvellous. If you haven't seen it, I would ask you to look at it. As has been pointed out by others today, the present law sends the message that people with disabilities are less worthy of protection than those living without disabilities. And earlier, Paul Given said the current law tells those with disabilities that they are worth less, their contribution is less valuable, their lives less valuable and less full. And is that really a message that we want to send at the end of this day? For anyone who suggests this is not the message that this law sends, I would remind you that when asked about the current law, Heidi responded that allowing abortion up to birth on the basis of non-fatal disabilities and I quote, "makes me feel that I am not as valued as anyone else." And I would also remind you of the words of Hannah Wilson, a young woman from County Fermanagh who has Down syndrome. She said, "I felt very sad when this was explained to me. The law should not treat some people differently from others. We just want to be treated the same." These are people whose lives and perception of self are profoundly impacted by this law. Imagine if it was you, your son, your daughter, who was confronting the fact that because of a diagnosis, viable human beings with the same condition as yourself were no longer entitled to the same right to life as those with your condition. And how would that make any of us feel? And I use the word diagnosis very reluctantly, Mr. Speaker, because Down syndrome and conditions like it are not diseases. We need to see these people's ability, not focus on their so-called disability. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to remind this Assembly of the debate we had here on the 2nd of June in 2020, when in 2 separate votes, 75 out of the 90 members made it clear they did not support abortion on the grounds of non-fatal fetal disability. And on that occasion, our votes could not change the law. By voting for the bill before us today, we can take the first steps in the process of translating that vote into an actual change in law, a change that is not imposed on us by Westminster, but a change that we adopt for ourselves. So to conclude, Mr. Speaker, I'm delighted and honoured to be standing with Heidi, Hannah and their families and countless others like them, to be taking a stand against disability discrimination. So I will be voting in support of this important bill and would strongly urge others to do the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.